aviation represents 9% of our gross domestic product. It's the fulcrum for all that we do. All other aspects of transportation are vital. There's nothing to compare to the power of aviation, the importance that it represents to a community, for ability to grow and create jobs, and in the case of Traverse City and others around the country, to attract tourism and sustain a viable tourism sector of our economy. So we bring to you legislation that will eventually invest in the future of aviation, create the revenues needed to expand the air side of airports, taxiway, runways, the high capacity we need to accommodate more aircraft, to separate runways adequately and those where that have dual or triple runways, so you have capacity to handle operations in worst weather, to increase investment in the air traffic control system, and to pay the operations of the air traffic control system operators, the air traffic controllers. The legislation we bring to you will provide a program of $16.2 billion over the period of time, $13.4 billion for facilities and equipment, $39.3 billion in operations, $1 billion in research and development, for a total of just under $70 billion over the 4-year period of this program. Together, we propose to retain the 4.3 cent per gallon on commercial jet aviation fuel, and increase the general aviation gasoline tax 4.8 cents to 24.1 cents, and increase general aviation jet fuel 14.1 cents to 35.9 cents. That will create an additional $363 million over the period of this bill. Aviation turbine, that is your corporate aviation operations, 8.3% of the air traffic control system, and general aviation piston aircraft are about just under 8%, 7.8% of the system of the flights in our air traffic control system. And historically, over time, these revenue contributions have represented a fair equity contribution into the Aviation Trust Fund by the aviation user, the piston aircraft operator, and the corporate jets. The airline ticket tax remains in place. We don't propose any changes in that. And we should, with 24% contributed into the operations account of the FAA from the general fund, we will have an adequate investment in the future of air traffic management, operations, flights, and to accommodate the necessary modernization of the air traffic control system, which I will leave to Mr. Costello to describe in greater length.